Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Rockwood. This is their part number SP1033-629. This is what's called a spanner collar. And a spanner collar is a required piece of the components when you're mounting pull handles, push handle, pull handle, whatever it is, push bar, pull handle, back to back in a spanner sort of scenario. So the spanner type of mount is likely the most durable or heavy duty of all different mount types. The spanner mount consists of a piece of threaded rod, basically. It's a bolt that has machine threads on either side. 3/8, 16 is likely what it is. One half of the bolt is a left-hand thread, and the other half of the bolt is a typical right-hand thread. Take that right-hand thread and thread that into, let's say, the pull handle on the exterior side. Well, what needs to happen is, as you're threading that in, you need to draw the push bar in as you're tightening the right-hand end into the exterior handle. So you basically, as you tighten the bolt, it draws the two parts closer together. The way to make that happen is with a spanner collar. The spanner collar has that D shape prep that's there, and that is because the bolt will have a D shape. Plus, the question becomes, well, how do I tighten it? That little black dot that's there, that's a hole into which you would install a spanner wrench. And I'll show you the Rockwood spanner wrench in a moment. You'll get that hooked in there, and then you'll rotate that. And you'll have to take that threaded bolt and balance it so you get it partly in the exterior, and so that you can draw everything together nice and tight. But that's what a spanner collar does, and a spanner mount. Because it's a spanner, it's 1.25 inches diameter. I don't think they do the spanner mounts in anything smaller than this mount type, this 3/8 size with 1.25 inches. The caliper says it's 1.252, and its thickness is 0.187, so 3/16 thick. Available in different finishes. Now, I'll just state this up front. 629 is a polished stainless. So what you're going to see is just a polished stainless or a polished chrome type look. It's clear, though, that this is not made of stainless, that's made of brass. So this would actually be 625 finish. But when we ordered 629, that's what the factory sent, so that's what we're making a video of. Let's switch now to the screen view, and let's take a closer look at the supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here is the item that we are looking at. Let's take a look at some photographs we have linked to down below. There's the collar with the hole for the spanner wrench. Just a couple of different perspectives there. Now, speaking of that spanner wrench, in the extended description here, there is a link to it, which is here. And that's what the Rockwood spanner wrench looks like. Very likely that, any spanner wrench that you're going to be able to get your hands on that will work with something 1.25 inches in diameter is going to work just fine. So as long as you have some tool to rotate or tighten and then obviously loosen your spanner collar to perform any maintenance necessary, would certainly work. This is used for a Type 14 or Type 11 mount. We'll take a look at that. For back-to-back mounting on 1.75 doors or 1/2 glass. The thickness of the door and the composition of the door doesn't matter to the collar. It's the length of that bolt. Polished stainless steel, that's the 629 in the part number, but this is clearly made of brass. Okay, now there is a table below this video, and indeed they do make spanner collars in different diameters, 1 inch, 1.25 inches, 1.5. That means that you're going to be able to install different diameter bars from Rockwood in a spanner type mount. The question becomes what is a Type 11 or a Type 14? For Rockwood Mounting Kit Parts Master Table, click here. We'll look at that in a moment. Before we get there, let's take a look at the product catalog, which is here. This is literally a duplication of the table that's in the extended description. So let's look up and see what type 11 and type 14 mount type are. There's a link here below this video to the manufacturer's page, and when you click on that, we'll be able to pull up the landing page in our site for Rockwood. Just waiting for it to load. Okay, and there it is. Now, I do have a summary of pull handle mounting chart, which was right here. And that just gives us a list of all of the part numbers, the pull handle numbers, and what mount types are available. So that's not what we're looking for. So let's open up the full line catalog since we know it'll be in there. And I'm going to do a find function on my keyboard for type 14. And that doesn't come up. There we go. Okay, so and we're unable to find that in the full line catalog, but this time we're going to get it for sure. On that manufacturer's page, there's a document called Mounting Kit Parts Master Table. Let's look at that. This is a more comprehensive version of that initial document. And as we scroll through, we'll get to a page that shows us, here's the type 11. Okay, type 11. It's actually an XHD because the HD means heavy duty, which would be 5/16. X makes it 3/8. So in a type 11, you're always talking about an XHD, meaning it's 3/8/16. That's that spanner collar there. So a type 11 and a type 14 are the same concept, but the length of the bolt changes because they're assuming that you're going to use a 14 for a door that's, glass. And you would want to indicate the thickness of the glass when you're ordering a set of pulls for that. We don't want them to assume it's an 1 3/4 door or a 1/2 piece of glass, because you might have to scramble to find an unusual bolt. Okay, so let's define the thickness of the door when ordering. So there is that common end back-to-back showing those two types. And by the time you're seeing this video, we'll have this sheet added to the extended description of the item that we are looking at. So I've done a search for SP1033 so that we can look at all the different finishes available. We have oil rub bronze equivalent, which is a powder-coated dark bronze color. We have a 605 for polished brass, 606 satin brass, 611 polished bronze. That's a beautiful color. 612 for satin bronze, 613 for oil rub bronze, 625 polished chrome, 626 satin chrome, 628 aluminum, 629 polished stainless, 630 satin stainless, 710 is a dark bronze anodized aluminum, 711 is black anodized aluminum. Then they can do this in a polished and a type 316 stainless, and a satin 316 stainless, and a micro shield satin, a surface coating that deters, retards the growth of bacteria and other contagion on the hardware itself. Okay. Now, back to our item. This table that's here just simply shows other types of bolts that are used in common mounting types when it comes to back-to-back. There's your SP1032. If you need that bolt itself, you'd be ordering it like this. What we don't see here is what that part number is when it's a type 14, which would be a shorter length, but here it is for glass. Okay, so the table's broke. There are two tables. SP1031 for 1/2-inch thick glass, and then the different spanner collars. Pretty handy. So that link below this video here, again, to the manufacturer's page, when we click on that, that's going to bring us to this landing page, and it will allow us to review not only all of the Rockwood products we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog for their core hardware, their trim and auxiliary hardware. They also have a separate catalog. It's about 100 pages in length called the architectural door poles. And you're obviously looking at poles, or you have poles. If you're doing a new installation and are open to the type and design, I would very much recommend a review through this catalog, because there are dozens, scores of different designs in this architectural door pole catalog, made of different base materials, stainless, brass, bronze, aluminum, wood infused, leather wrapped, rubber encased as well. Very interesting resource. It's an idea or a picture book as well. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. In conclusion, I can't really say why this client is buying a couple of spanner collars. They clearly have an installation where perhaps they removed the hardware from the door and they've got the threaded left-right bolts, but the spanner, they're looking at those bolts saying, well, how does this work? Because there's no way to rotate that bolt without the spanner collar, and they may have discovered that they've lost the spanner collars. It's just a guess on my part, but there you go. Priced and sold per each. This client did happen to buy 2 of them. The name Rockwood is quite synonymous with trim and auxiliary hardware, but they're also synonymous with extremely prompt, predictable, reliable, dependable, very high quality fit and finish, exceptional customer service and technical support. Just off the top of my head, when it comes to the products that they sell, I'm quite partial when it comes to Rockwood, because they keep it so simple. You send them an order, you know, if it's made to order, 2 weeks later you get a tracking number. It's very, very predictable and reliable. And for them, to them, I say thank you for that. Any questions on the SP1033-629, although this is likely 625, or any other Rockwood product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.